Check 1 2. Let's pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the office of leaders and county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you've been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Clerk, kindly take.
The third assembly, third session. Order paper number 260 of today, Wednesday, 20th November 2024 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Statement time. Rebo Kennedy Ajwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I rise to seek a statement. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the standing order number 412B of the Kisumu County Assembly, standing orders, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of Finance and ICT Committee regarding the lowest absorption rate by the Department of the Trade, Tourism, Industry and Market. Mr. Speaker, sir, during the Trade, Tourism, Industry and Market Committee meeting with the line department to deliberate on the proposed project in the Kisumu County Annual Development Plan for the year FY 2025-2026 to review the performance of the previous ADP 2023-2024, the committee observed the following department absolution rate was below 50%. Let the committee investigate and report into, number 1, the reason for the department's low absorption rate of 17% in the FY 2023-2024. 2, the circumstances surrounding the non-payment of the submitted payment files and their subsequent return as a pending bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, the Honorable Kennedy Joang has raised a statement. As understanding order number 41-2 that was processed by the House Business Committee. But I think I've heard of something that maybe slipped my mind when it was being approved. That the statement is being sought from the Committee of Finance. I tend to feel like these matters should be addressed elsewhere. Where is the chair for finance? Honorable Karen, where are you seated? Why are you running away from your seat? You don't want to sit next to Honorable Lumumba. You feel the place is lonely. You are running to. Huh?
I can sit in any chair here, sir. I'm allowed.
We will soon be having an assembly where the gadgets are programmed. So if you keep on running, we may be identifying you as somebody else. So you need to start practicing sitting on your chair. But anyway, what's your reaction on this? We can allow Honorable Iko.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I feel the statement is not directed to the right committee. It ought to have been directed to Committee on Trade and Tourism. Reason number one, during budget process, there was a time when the committee and the land department met to interrogate or to check on the budget or the absorption during the last financial year. And they ought to have asked that question during that time. So I feel they should just go to their committee, call the department to explain to them why the absorption rate is low. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Emilia, I'm not open the debate. You have an issue. What is it? Yeah, okay, you stand. Yeah, you have already. You have a statement. You want to do what? I saw you on your feet. You have a comment.
Yes.
What is the comment?
Mr. Speaker, I just realized that the person raising the statement is actually the vice chair of the Committee of Trade. And I think it is just right that this is handled at the committee level, because there's no way a vice chair can bring a statement involving the same department that he is in charge of. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That's my observation.
Did not capture that Honorable Kennedy Joang is the vice chair of trade. But I think based on what the chair of finance is saying, I'm in agreement, this thing slipped. It ought to have gone to trade. But I'm informed that the Honorable Kennedy Joang is the vice chair of trade. Is tourism trade, cooperatives, industry, and marketing. Honorable Kennedy Joang, maybe the floor is yours. Are you trying to ask another department to explain to you why your department is not absorbing?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've understand what my fellow colleague have said, and I think I've been misled by the committee clerk of the trade, who was supposed to direct that statement as per it was supposed to be. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, I want to direct that this statement can be dealt with directly at the said department, the said committee. Now that the Honorable Kennedy Joang is the vice chair of the committee, I think they can handle it appropriately in that committee, actually even without bringing a statement. So it goes back to that committee. You deal with it at the committee, because I think it's challenging. It's very challenging to to ask another committee to explain to you why your line department, let me call it now your department because you are in charge of that department, it's not absorbing. It's you to explain. So this one should be an agenda in your committee. It would be okay if another member from another committee is raising such statement. So sorry for the oversight, but Honorable Kennedy Juang, you can pick it and deal with it appropriately in your committee with your chair and the members of that committee. I hope you got that. Statement time. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8. Motion that this House adopts the report of Finance and ICT Committee on the consideration of the Kisumu County Executive Quarterly Report and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024 and Kisumu County Revenue Fund Report and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024 by the Honorable Karen Odhiambo, Chairperson.
Honorable Karen Odhiambo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, this is a consolidated report on the consideration of the Kisumu County 1 Executive Quarterly Report and financial statement for the period ended 31st March 2024. 2. Revenue Fund Quarterly Report and financial statement for the period ended 31st March 2024. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, in accordance with Section 166(4) and 168 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, the County Treasury is mandated to prepare and submit quarterly financial report statements for the County Executive and County Revenue to the County Assembly within 1 month after the close of each quarter. In compliance with this provision, the County Executive Committee member for Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT submitted the County Executive and County Revenue Fund quarterly reports and financial statement for the period ended 31st March 2024. And this one you can see under Annex 1. Because I'm using moving notes, this report ought to have been read last week, but due to lack of quorum, the motion was not moved. So I hope honorable members had enough time to go through it. These reports were duly tabled in this assembly by the majority leader, Honorable Kennedy Oko, on Wednesday, 8th May 2024, and subsequently committed to the Secretarial Committee on Finance and ICT for consideration. Pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Order number 1835 and second schedule, the committee has critically analyzed and scrutinized the quarterly financial statement as mandated. Honorable Speaker, these quarterly reports and financial statements present the budget's execution status covering the period from 1st July 2023 to 31st March 2024. Providing comparative analysis of actual achievements against the budgeted amounts for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Mr. Speaker, sir, I wish to extend our gratitude to your office and the office of the clerk for the logistical support provided throughout the committee's meetings and the efficient facilitation of our report writing retreat. I also commend the members of the committee for their active engagement and invaluable contribution during these discussions. Special thanks go to the Office of the Fiscal Analyst and the technical staff for their diligent work in interpreting and synthesizing the financial information, offering deeper insights into the statement. Additionally, I acknowledge the Secretariat for their meticulous coordination, planning, and preparation on of this comprehensive report. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, we have conducted a comprehensive examination of these quarterly financial statements, made key observations and findings, and provided recommendations for your consideration and adoption. It is now my distinct privilege and honor to present the report of the committee on the consideration of the County Executive and County Revenue Fund quarterly reports and financial statement for the period ended 31st March 2024 for careful consideration and approval. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, the county treasury is mandated to prepare quarterly reports for the county department and county revenue fund and submit the same to the county assembly not later than 1 month after the end of each quarter, in accordance with the provisions of section 166(4) and 168 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012. It is on this account that the CSCM Finance, Economic Planning and ICT committed the CE and CRF quarterly financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. These reports present budget execution status covering the period 1st July 2023 to 31st March 2024, with comparative actual achievements and budgeted amount for the previous year 2022-2023. It also contains the revenue performance, both locally generated and equitable share from the national government. While preparing these financial statements, the CCM Finance accorded the responsibility to ensure that they give a true and fair view of the state of affairs of the county government's transactions for and as at the end of 31st March 2024. The financial statements are equally supposed to reflect the county's fiscal status as at the date. The financial statements have been prepared in accordance with the cash basis, that is IPSAS financial reporting under the cash basis method of accounting as prescribed by the PSASB. This cash basis system of accounting has been supplemented with accounting for receivables that include interest and salary advances, and payables that include deposits and retentions. The receivables and payables are disclosed in the statement of assets and liabilities. The Finance and ICT Committee, in line with its oversight mandate enshrined in the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Order number 193, has comprehensively interrogated and examined these financial statements aimed at determining their accuracy, completeness, applicability to relevant laws, and the ability to give the true and fair view of the financial statement of the county. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, the committee has extensively reviewed and examined the extent to which the county treasury complied with the various relevant legal frameworks and statutes guiding and regulating the preparation, submission, and processing of these quarterly reports and financial statement. The committee's observations and recommendations on these sections are presented in this report as Annex 5. And these are some of the committee observations, findings, and recommendations. And you can refer to page 13 to page 17 of the parent document. I hope you have it. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, following a comprehensive review and interrogation of the quarterly financial statements, the committee identified and flagged several critical issues which were subsequently forwarded to the county treasury for response and clarification. Additionally, the county treasury appeared before the committee to elaborate on their responses. The matrix below outlines the committee's observations, findings, and recommendations concerning the specific issue raised on the quarterly reports and the financial statement. This is now County Executive Quarterly Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024. Number one, this is what the committee raised. It is under retention and deposits. We wanted them to provide adequate justification for the negative figure for deposits and retentions at Kenya shillings 66,218,486 under the breakdown for the fund balance brought forward. And this you can check on note 11, page 52. And this is how they responded to this, that technically deposit and retention being current liabilities, that is money held from service provider to be paid on a later date upon successful completion of the contractual obligation, is supposed to be adjusted as a reducing figure to arrive at net current assets. And this is what we observed as a committee. The management response to the query did not address the following issues. Under note 8, page 21, and this one is dealing with cash and cash balances. The Kisumu County deposit account number, it is 100,233,524 at a balance of Kenya shillings 6,247,643. Whereas, if you check note 14 on page 53, under increase and decrease in deposits and retentions, there is a balance of 42,700,820. Again, if you check note 11, that is page 52, under fund balance brought forward, retentions and deposits was recorded as negative 66,218,486. Again, you check note 10, page 52, under deposits and retentions at a balance of Kenya shillings 12,318,486. Therefore, these three sets of records do not reconcile. And this is our recommendation as a committee. The county treasury to submit to the assembly an amended quarterly executive quarter 3 financial statement for the financial year 2023-2024, reconciling the records within 2 weeks of adoption of this report. Further, the county treasury to annex a bank statement for the reconciled deposits and retentions account for the revised financial statement. Part B of what we raised as a committee, under the statement of cash flows, that is on page 2, under increase and decrease in retention, is Kenya shillings 64,671,890, whereas under explanatory note 14, page 53, the figure is reported as Kenya shillings 42,700,820. And then we wanted them to explain the variation. This is how they responded. The figure of 64,671,890 was erroneous. What they meant here is that it was a typo error. So they are trying to tell us that the correct figure here is supposed to be 42,700,820 as captured under note 14, page 53. And this can be demonstrated by casting the cash flow statement using the same figure. Okay, as a committee, this is what we observed. The two sets of figures were at variance. Consequently, the accuracy of retention and deposits balance as at 31st March 2024 could not be ascertained. And this is our recommendation. The county treasury to submit to the assembly an amended county executive Q3 financial statement for the financial year 2023-2024, reconciling the figures within 2 weeks of adoption of this report. Another concern, that is number 2. The committee observed that some components of the unsurrendered interest are dating back to the January 2023 in violation of the provisions of Section 93 of the PMF Act regulations of 2015. The county treasury was required to give highlights on the measures put in place to recover the long outstanding interest. And this is what the committee observed. Management had put robust measures to ensure, no, this is the response. This is the response from the executive. This is what they told us, that the management had put the robust measures to ensure the interest outstanding are cleared within reasonable time, e.g. financial statements, financial year 2023-2024, which was satisfactorily achieved as evidence. As at end of financial year 2023-2024, the outstanding interest stood at 5 million. These efforts were achieved through memos addressed to the concerned officers and further advising management to adhere to the law. Further, some contractual staff dues were adjusted against unsurrendered interest, which saw the outstanding reduced drastically. Henceforth, management remains focused to ensure no repeat of the same status. As a committee, this is our own observation on that. The chief officer violated the provisions of Section 93 of the PFM regulations of 2015, specifically regulations number 93 of 8, 9, and 10. And this is what we recommended as a committee. The CCM, Finance, Economic Planning, and ICT to take appropriate measures against the chief officers in accordance with the provisions of Section 156, 2, 3, and 4 of the PFM Act 2012. Our number 3 concern was that they ought to provide authentic, if misprinted, bank reconciliations reports to justify the disclosed bank balances of Kenya shillings 518,383,460. Also, explain this omission in contravention of the PSASB standards. In their response, as a department, they said that as much as the system is able to produce A430 reports, the output still remains unreliable due to technical challenges in updating previous year's posting of cash book in IFMIS dating back to 2013. However, efforts are underway to ensure all previous cash book transactions are captured in IFMIS by the end of financial year 2024-2023 through a dedicated team that was assigned to ensure compliance. This is what we observed as a committee. The committee observed that failure by the management to provide banks reconciliation reports from IFMIS was due to technical challenges outside their control. The management justified the efforts to address the challenge through correspondences with the National Treasury in updating the FO30. See Annex 6. Okay, another concern was wanted them to disclose the names of the banks where the county operational bank accounts listed under note 8A, that is on page 21, are maintained to verify compliance with the section 82(1)B of the PFM regulations of 2015. And this is their response. Management complied with the PSASB template, which informed the nature of population. Further commitment to PFM Act 2012 remains our priority. And this is what we observed as a committee. Although the management provided the list of the county executive operational bank accounts, the committee observed that the county executive had a total of 20 bank accounts held in various commercial banks. And if you want to see the total bank accounts they have, you can see Annex 7. Contrary to the provisions of Section 82(1)B of the PFM Act, PF regulations of 2015. And this is our recommendation as a committee. The CCM Finance and Economic Planning to enforce compliance with Section 82(1)B of PFM regulations of 2015 within 3 months of adoption of this report, and provide a status report during submission of CE Q2 financial statements for the financial year 2024-2025. Now we move to part 2 of the report, dealing with the county revenue funds, quarterly financial statement for the financial year 2023-2024. Here, we have some concerns, and number one, we wanted them to explain why they have only provided a consolidated OSR figure for the previous financial year 2022-2023 under the comparative column in the explanatory notes on page 5, note 2, contrary to the prescribed standards and formats set by PSASB. And these are the respondents. At the time of submission of the report, revenue receipts had not been reconciled by the Revenue Board. As a committee, this is what we observed. The management response was not satisfactory because they can't just tell us at that time they had not reconciled their receipts, and they're supposed to do their work accordingly. And this is our recommendation as a committee. The county treasury to furnish the assembly with a revised CRF quarterly financial statement with a detailed breakdown of the consolidated OSR figure for the financial year 2022-2023 of Kenya shillings 551,429,039 within 14 days after the adoption of this report. And again, Treasury should strive to making realistic OSR focus guided by previous actual OSR collection trends. Number 3, the CRF quarterly report for the financial year 2023-2024 report an OSR figure of Kenya shillings 613,640,325.
Just a point of correction. Chair has not just gone through number 2 in full.
Bukarin.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get him. Can you come up again?
I said, to the number 2, continue to the next page, but you've skipped it. Justify the low ORS realization of 613. Blah, blah, then you go to number 3.
I'm sorry, Honorable. Remember, I have a moving notes and you have a full report. But it's okay, I can still read it. Okay, under number 2, we wanted them to justify the low OSR realization of Kenya ceilings 613,640,325, which represents only 26% of the annual projection of Kenya ceilings 2,282,844,694. And under this, we wanted to explain why OSR projections continue to be overestimated, leading to the accumulation of the pending bill. Okay. There's a disconnect in this. Oh, this is what we observed as a committee. The management, while appearing before the committee, submitted that the county had collected a total of 1.4 billion against the projected target of 2.3 billion, representing an under collection of 39%. So this is what we recommended as a committee. The county treasury should strive in making realistic OSR forecast guided by previous actual OSR collection trends. So I'll repeat our query number 3. The CRF quarterly report financial year 2023-2024 reports an OSR figure of Kenya ceilings 613,640,325, while the OCOB quarterly reports the OSR figure at Kenya shillings 523,686,993.49 for the same period. We wanted them to clarify this inconsistency and disclose the actual OSR figure collected. And this is how they responded. The actual OSR amount collected was Kenya shillings 613,640,325. as indicated in Annex 2 and was fully supported by the bank statement. However, management is in contact with COB to reconcile their books to mirror the executive status as at the period ended 31st March 2023. This is what we observed as a committee. A review of the CRF bank account statements confirmed that the actual OSR figure as at 31st March 2024 was Kenya shillings 613,640,325. Therefore, the figure reported by OCOB may have been issued before reconciliation. This is our recommendation under this. The county treasurer should ensure that the quarterly financial reports submitted to OCOB are properly reconciled and accurate. Under 4, the committee has noted discrepancies between the exchequer revenue streams reported in the quarter 3 CRF report and the Q3 OCOB report for the same period. Provide adequate justification for the variation listed below. A, equitable share. CRF reports Kenya shillings 4,849,842,705, while OCOB reports Kenya shillings of 5,091,570,631. And to this, they responded like this, that the variance of Kenya shillings 241,727,926 comprised of Kenya shillings 234,434,252 opening balance as at the beginning of the financial year 2022-2023, and return CRF issues of Kenya shillings 7,392,674 realized during the same period. And this is what we observed as a committee. The management response was not satisfactory. And this is our recommendation. The county treasury should ensure that the quarterly financial reports submitted to all COB are properly reconciled and accurate. Part B of it, this concerns Danida Grant and Floka. CRF reports of Kenya shillings.
Point of correction. Yeah, it is necessary because these are records. Yeah. From what you are reading is what I'm reading. And you are saying the management response was not satisfactory. Here in the record, what is written is the management response was satisfactory. I'm reading the same from the same page.
Thanks for the correction. That is why I have another eye down there. It's my voice, so don't worry. You should put it straight. Yeah, very correct. Okay, I move to number B, part of it. That is Danida Grant and Floka. CRF reports Kenya shillings of 13,405,500 and Kenya shillings of 11 million, respectively, while OCOB indicates nil. This is how they responded, that the Kenya shillings of 13,405,500 Danita relates to financial year 2022-2023, but was disbursed into CRF on 3rd July 2023. Kenya shillings 11 million Floka relates to the financial year 2022-2023, but was disbursed into CRF on 4th July 2023. And this is what we observed as a committee, that the management response was satisfactory. Under recommendation, it said that the county treasury should ensure that the quarterly financial reports submitted to OCOB are properly reconciled and accurate. Part C of it is change maker. OCOB reports Kenya shillings of 15,051,795, while CRF indicates nil receipt of the grant. This is how they responded, that Kenya shillings of 15,051,795 related to ABDP are not change maker according to National Treasury disbursement schedule. This is what we observed as a committee, that the management response was satisfactory. And this was our recommendation. The county treasury should ensure that the quarterly financial reports submitted to OCOB are properly reconciled and accurate. And finally, this is what we had as a general recommendation. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable members, the committee submits following additional recommendations for consideration by this esteemed House. Number one, that the CCM for Finance, Economic Planning and ICT to promote the standards of financial reporting in the county by assigning competent accounting officers. Number two, that the county treasury to adhere to committee directives or resolutions by honoring invitations and strictly observing deadlines on the submission of responses and relevant information for proper scrutiny in enhancing the oversight role of the Assembly. Number three, that the CCM for Finance, Economic Planning and ICT submits a detailed report on all short-term loans, that is overdraft facilities, obtained by the county executive during the previous financial year 2023-2024, and provides a comprehensive update on the status of all county statutory deductions for the same period. Finally, the last one, that with the approval of this report, which covers the CRF activities for the first, second, and third quarters of financial year 2023-2024, the pending report of the CRF second quarter financial statements for the financial year 2023-2024 be suspended, as this third quarter CRF financial statement elaborately addresses the concerns of the second quarter. Mr. Speaker, sir, in conclusion, I hereby ask the honorable members to adopt this report with the recommendations contained herein. And may I now call upon Honorable Lumumba Wadi to second.
Honorable members, now that the committee, now that the report of the Finance and ICT Committee on the consideration of the Kisumu County Executive Quarterly Report and Finance Statement for the year ended 31st March, for the period ended 31st March 2024, and that of the Revenue Fund Report and Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024 have been presented. Seconded, I want to propose a question, and I propose that the report is open for debate. Honorable Lumumba Owade.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to support the adoption of this report, of which I'm a member, and of course, the Vice Chair. As you can see, it is self-explanatory that members of this committee did do a good job as is expected of them. Mr. Speaker, as it is normal that in this kind of report, our duty is to comb extensively on where certain recommendations and corrections are supposed to be made. And indeed, we did that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, going forward, I think we need to work or look into the kind of staff that are charged with responsibility of preparing certain documents in the executive, because it is becoming a norm that every financial year the same problems are repeated. And we've always made recommendations on what should be done. It is my humble submission, Mr. Speaker, that this recommendation be taken seriously so that in future we may incur new problems as opposed to what we get repeatedly from the concerned staff. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, if these recommendations are followed to the letter, I think our duty will be almost half done, and not only for the committee, but also for this house and to the county at large, and we'll be able to move to the right direction as expected of this house and this county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Honorable Benny Pete.
Mr. Speaker, this report is very crucial for this assembly, and we need to look at it critically because, Mr. Speaker, this is a report from the Revenue Board. Revenue Fund quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024. Mr. Speaker, the pages are not numbered for each reference, but when we go to the concerns on the county executive quarterly report and financial statements for the period ended 31st March 2024, Mr. Speaker, we are being told, and this is also a matter that is pending in this house, because a statement was raised, the target of OSR, on-source revenue, was 2,282,844,694. And we are being told that by this time, their collection was 613,640,325, which is 26% of the annual projection. Mr. Speaker, this gives us a picture of how the collection was poor, and this gives credence to the stories that have come up that our young boys who were employed there decided to embezzle the funds. Mr. Speaker, this is a clear record that this House to take seriously, and when the statement that was raised by Honorable Simon Nyango comes up, we shall have an insight that it had already been aired to us that there were problems. Because, Mr. Speaker, by 31st March of this financial, by 31st March, more than 3/4 of the period had ended, and what was remaining was only 3 months to the end of the financial year. And this was the collection, 613 1,640,325. Another matter, Mr. Speaker, on the same page, we are again being told that there were two conflicting reports. The county government was reporting 613,640,325. Yet the Office of the Controller of Budget was reporting 523,686,993. Mr. Speaker, the inconsistency in this report also speaks volume. And Mr. Speaker, this is not the first time. This element of poor reporting is becoming common with the county government of Kisumu. Mr. Speaker, when we go down, the committee also noted discrepancies between the exchequer revenue streams reported in the Q3 and the Office of the Controller of Budget report. On the same page, equitable share, the report by the county government was 4,849,843. No, 4,849,842,705. And at the Office of the Controller of Budget, the report, equitable share is 5,570,631, giving a difference of 241,724,926. One wonders why this kind of difference should be there. When we go down, we also find there was a figure for county revenue fund of 17,747,755. And at the Office of the Controller of Budget, it is 8,451,078, a difference of 9 million. So, Mr. Speaker, when we are being told of poor financial records from our county government, it is not just a hearsay, it is true, and one will now wonder the kind of staff we have under finance department. The people who are equal to the task, do they have the professional qualification, or what is happening? And we are again being told the county government paid 80,477,161 as pension and retirement benefits. But they were not clear on what schemes they paid money for and how much was paid to each scheme. And Mr. Speaker, in this country, if people had time to read the newspapers of yesterday, the Minister for Finance, Honorable Badi, has formed a committee to investigate what is happening on the county pension schemes. It is being claimed the counties, the assemblies are not paying these monies. And we are wondering, when these monies are not paid in good time, they don't earn interest. When these monies are not paid, when the staff retire, they will have nothing to lay their hands on. And that is the picture we are being given now. And this gives us the picture that the oversight role needs to be intensified so that these kind of problems are arrested in good time. Otherwise, we shall realize when it is very late that the welfare of our staff was not taken care of. So the work is on the assembly to intensify the oversight role so that the executive is made to do their work properly for the benefit of our people. I so contribute.
Yes, Honorable God.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, having gone through the report, there are a lot of discrepancies noted by the committee. And if you look at the general recommendations that has been made by the committee, I think it's very important that from this report, there are things that need to be done. And as the committee has stated, that the CCM member for finance be given time to provide this house and submit a detailed report. That is recommendation number 3, that are all short-term loans, because there are some discrepancies, like some we see even in, like how we operate, Mr. Speaker, you know very well that we don't get money promptly as a county, and therefore there are times when the executive takes advances to do some things and all that. Those short-term loans, when you look at the financial statement, they bring sometimes they bring negatives. And therefore, even after the reporting time, I wish, and as the committee has requested, that we do follow up and see, because some discrepancies, because when money came outside the timing, money came before somebody took an advance, obtained some short-term loans that were used to facilitate the activities that we need to do. So I feel, and I agree with the committee, that going forward, if you're looking at a general period of financial statement, then we can go back and forth even after the timing so that we know what brought all these issues. Because, Mr. Speaker, even if you're looking at the balance sheet as they are brought, the reporting of the COB and the reporting of the county are different. There are differences because at times when the COB comes, they come after the timing or earlier than that. So I wish we adopt this report and follow up on the recommendations of the committee so that the documents that were not submitted for this conclusive report are done and submitted so that we get the root cause of the variances in the financial statement. I support.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute on the same issue as a member of this committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm appealing to the implementation department committee. As you see the column of this report, most of them is that the department to be serious, giving the submitted some documents to the committee. Sometimes like this one, they didn't give even the statement of the bank reconciliation. And
if you see the last on the recommendation that the CCM for Finance, Planning and ICT to submit the detailed report of the same, Mr. Speaker. I stand to support this report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Wiki.
Mr. Speaker, there is no quorum in the House. So,
Direct that the quorum bell be rang for 5 minutes. As the quorum bell is being rung, I am not able to support the whip, neither the deputy whip, but the deputy leader majority is in. You can help us, whip members who are out to come in so that we conclude. No member shall leave the house until we confirm quorum, except the deputy leader majority whom I directed to assist us whip members who are out. Honorable Deputy Leader, majority confirm if there's quorum.
We have the quorum. Thank you.
Moving on with the debate. Honorable Were.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, going by the mood of the House, let the mover reply. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the members who supported the motion. And Honorable Oiko Pete talked of variance and equitable shares, which we also noticed as a committee. But I want to inform this Honorable House that with the response the department gave, it was a variance of 241,727,921. And this is how they responded. It comprised of Kenya shillings 234,434,252. And that was the opening balance as at the beginning of the financial year 2022-2023. And return CRF issues of Kenya shillings 7,392,674 realized during the same period. And if you remember what I told you earlier, our response was that okay, it was satisfactory. We agreed with the explanation. And I just urge this Honorable House to adopt this report with the recommendations herein, and so I reply.
Honorable members, now that adoption of a report of the Finance and ICT Committee on the consideration of the Kisumu County Executive Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024, and Kisumu County Revenue Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024 have been presented, seconded, and debated. As per our standing orders, I want to put a question. And I put a question that as many of the opinion that the motion adoption of the report of the Finance and ICT Committee on the consideration of the Kisumu County Executive Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024, and Kisumu County Revenue Fund Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024 be adopted. Say aye. As many of the contrary opinions say nay, the ayes have it. And the motion adoption of a report of the Finance and ICT Committee on the consideration of the Kisumu County Executive Quarterly Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024, and the Kisumu County Revenue Fund Report and Financial Statement for the period ended 31st March 2024 have been adopted today, the 20th of November, today, Wednesday, the 20th of November 2024 at 15:49 hours. And I direct that the recommendation of the said report be communicated to relevant department for action. Next, order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And on members, we don't have any other business to transact in the order paper.
Members, we can be upstanding. There being no any other business in the order paper, the House stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, the 21st of November 2024 at 2:30 p.m.